Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Old school.
Going to be stolen, I think, by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Ray rocked the baby to sleep and slam dunk.
Stolen by Bird and the cut to DJ. Yeah! Buckle up for Kobe Bryant.
New era.
Oh! A jawbreaker! Curry way down top. Bang!
It's all basketball.
A spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Lace them up. It's time for 1010XL's Open Gym. Leading the break, here's RJ Saunders.
And we continue to fill in for Rick Ballou as well as Hacker, both enjoying vacations before they get back to the grind, and training camp will be upon us here in Jacksonville. Definitely going to be an exciting time, but we are going to talk a little bit of Jacksonville Jaguars here on a show we like to call Open Gym. RJ Saunders here with you, along with Dylan Denmark. Glad you guys are here with us. SEC Media Days continuing in Atlanta. NBA Summer League continuing in Las Vegas. I have a lot to talk about over these next 2 hours, and we're glad that you guys are giving us a couple moments of your time to chill with us and speak on the teal and black, as well as a couple things going on inside the association. We have a great show for you guys today. And as always, we would love your input. 2 ways in which you can do so. On the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosure, 641-1010 is the number there, or on our various digital platforms, whether that be on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. So let's talk Jags. In particular, let's talk Trevor Lawrence, and I'll start it this way. One of my favorite Kobe games of all time is his famous Amnesty That game against the Dallas Mavericks. If you remember, Mark Cuban says, you know what, the Lakers, because of the amnesty clause that the league was giving out, where you were able to release one player from your team, they would still get their salary, but you would get, a couple of fixes, loopholes, get a little bit of help for releasing said player if you were a particular team. And Mark Cuban felt that the Lakers should probably do that with Kobe Bryant, saying maybe he's not that killer anymore. Not saying that he doesn't have those flashes, but maybe just not that guy anymore. The Lakers should probably go in a different direction. What was Kobe's response to that? 38, 12, and 7, and a simple quote after the game, which was a victory by the LA Lakers: amnesty that. And to be quite honest with you, that made me love Kobe Bryant even more. More than just the fact that because I'm from Los Angeles, a diehard Lakers fan, and, aside from Jordan being number one, I have Kobe number 2 all time. He could hear just the slightest thing, the slightest bit of doubt, and he would take that personally. But as I always do, let's flip this to the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. I'm sure he hears us. I'm sure he also hears individuals in the national media, probably a couple of contemporaries and peers. Could we see an equivalent of an amnesty that season from Trevor Lawrence? And if so, I'd love to ask you guys, what does that look like for Trevor? Stat-wise, what does that look like? Because it feels like with this year, going into this year for Trevor Lawrence, it certainly feels like a make or break year for him. Even with the fact that he's being paid $275 million, he's got to show something. He's got to show you something. He has to show me something. He has to show the NFL world something, whether fair or unfair, because you do have a first-time head coach, also a first-time GM. As much as we love Tony Baselli, first-time EVP of the Jacksonville Jaguars. But a lot of stock being put in Trevor Lawrence to produce and bring a Super Bowl here to the city of Jacksonville. NFL QB rankings are now out by a lot of different publications, and Trevor Lawrence is always going to be somewhere in the top 15. But in that top 15, he's always ranging near the bottom 14 or 15. This is PFF. They have them in their solid starters, but they need more help tier. That was tier 3 for PFF. And he's ranked 16th overall. And this is what they say, quote, Trevor Lawrence might be the biggest wild card in this tier. The talent is undeniable, but he's yet to show consistency at a high level needed to elevate himself and the Jaguars into the NFL's elite. His 79.7 overall grade in 2023 was a career high. Now he'll have Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter as his top targets, with Liam Cohen taking over as offensive coordinator. For a guy who is supposedly kissed by the football sun, probably not the most satisfactory thing for you fans out there, and I understand you guys completely. ESPN didn't have this guy even in their honorable mention in their list of the NFL's top 10 QBs for 2025, and who they say they, as coaches, scouts, execs, that's where they're getting this list from. That's where they're determining this list. And we've had guys on this station here, Herm Edwards, Mark Ross from NFL Network, two guys that have been in NFL league circles for years, Herm being a former player, Mark Ross being a guy that was in the front office for a long time, a part of 2 Super Bowl runs with the New York Giants. And both have been on here and have questioned, is it the coaches? Is it the system? Is it the scheme? Or is it Trevor Lawrence? And there are some people that feel that Doug Peterson should have been able to stay around just a little while longer because they feel he didn't have enough time to gel with one Trevor Lawrence, even though we can make arguments for or against whether or not he should have been here for a longer stint. But there are many of you here in Jacksonville that say, you know what? I don't think he has it in him. I think we've seen enough. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks do a lot more with a lot less, and I hear you. A la Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, etc. But there are those that are of the contrarian opinion who think, no, he hasn't had enough help. No, he hasn't had the right regime. The Jacksonville Jaguars have not given him a comfortable place in which he can just think about football because there's been crap going on around him that's probably unnecessary. Things that maybe a Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to face and didn't have to face when he got in Kansas City. Again, we don't know. But I'm here and I'm open to all sides. But I will say this. It does seem that Trevor Lawrence does understand that this season is one of the utmost importance. Not only this year, but perhaps moving forward. This was Trevor Lawrence on Pardon My Take, talking about this year and what it means for him personally.
You try to treat them all the same, but I mean, realistically, like where I'm at in my career, I'm going to year 5, been an up and down so far the first 4 years for me, and just our team and our situation. I've had, this is my 3rd head coach. I've had a lot of turnover, a lot of change, but I really feel good about the situation we're in. I love Coach Cohen and the whole staff and everyone that's in, all the guys that were brought in free agency, just good dudes, good players too. But I really feel like we've done some great things this offseason as far as just speaking offensively, like the changes we've made, the system we're running, I have a lot of confidence in. This system is, tried and true. The LA and, Minnesota runs it now with O'Connell, all those teams, and they have a lot of success with it. So it's a great system for quarterbacks. And yeah, like where I'm at in my career, year 5, like it's time to go and start winning consistently and be not just that team where it's like, you're always like, no one really takes you seriously. You want to be that team that's always competing for, playoffs, Super Bowls, and you're in the hunt.
Yeah.
So that's, of course, I see it through that lens of like, yeah, it's year 5, and I feel like this is like getting into my prime. Like I got a lot of good years left ahead of me, and I need to really turn it on. And I think what we've built around me and what they've done this offseason has been a great start.
So here are your stat projections for this year. This is according to fantasypros.com. Trevor Lawrence this year 21 TDs, 13 INTs, and he'll throw in the category of 3,800 yards. In my book, meh. Reason being, 2023, Trevor Lawrence goes for 21 TDs, 14 interceptions, 4,100 yards. The Jags went 9-8, which a lot of us believe that that's probably the floor for Jacksonville this year, probably 9-8, wild card. Many of us have the team winning at least 10 games. There are some that say, hey, if you can get back to 9-8 and get to a wild card, that gives us some hope for the next year. But I just don't think that's enough to convince those fans who are on the fence about Trevor Lawrence to say that's an amnesty that season. Now, we do speak on Liam Cohen, the offense in which he's implementing around Trevor Lawrence. He said in his introductory press conference, we're building this whole thing around Trevor. And John Shipley, who we had on last night, he used the term forward thinking. And speaking on the offense and how it was built around Baker Mayfield. And one of the biggest strengths was that of the screen game. So Cohen's going to be here to try to make things as easy as possible for one Trevor Lawrence. And we saw what Mayfield did last season, 41-16. And there went a guy that probably you were saying was going to be a career backup, heck, maybe even out of the league in a few years, to, by ESPN stance, this is a guy that's top 10 going into 2025. Can we see that from Trevor? Maybe not the 40 touchdowns. But can he break 30? That's something he has not done in his career so far. Can we go under 14 touchdowns? Seems doable because now not every play needs to be a home run. Again, we had Shipley on last night. Calvin Ridley was the guy that you're treating him like Dash from The Incredibles. When Mrs. Incredible tells Dash, if there's any trouble, you run as fast as you can. And that's what Calvin Ridley was asked to do. There is speed with this group. Tommy Brown, Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., who we all feel is going to have a big year too. But I don't think you're saying just run up the field and we're playing backyard catch. There's going to be a lot of motion. There's going to be a lot of movement. Probably going to be a lot of screen action. And that's things we need. That's things that we're seeing other teams do. Hell, we see them do it and it kills us. Now, we feel like we have that, which a lot of this, when I have these conversations with you guys, when we sit down and we have these conversations, it feels like the reason why a lot of you guys may be hurting or on the fence about whether or not Trevor Lawrence is the guy, or maybe you've swung to the other end of the pendulum and you said, no, absolutely not, he's not the guy, is due to the reason because we have wanted something that is our own, because we see Mahomes, we see Joe Burrow, we see Josh Allen, we see Lamar Jackson, and this is supposed to be the guy in that tier. Where is our guy? Jacksonville, admittedly, and probably it all comes out in the book, we got it wrong with Urban. Got it wrong with Doug. Now we have our McVay. We have our Andy Reid. Or so we hope. So what we're supposed to see showcasing Cohen's offense, which we heard from Jamal St. Cyr a few weeks ago, that by the time the nuts and bolts are tightened on this offense, we're going to like what we see from Jacksonville when it comes to this offense. And that's what you should want as a fan. The forward-thinking coach, the innovative coach. And if Trevor has the mindset, in which we're hearing, that it's now year 5. I have a lot of good years left in me. We've heard Tony Baselli talk about the fact that this is going to be the guy that's going to lead us to a championship. You now feel that you have at least put requisite pieces around him to be successful going into this season. Maybe not enough to win a Super Bowl. Maybe not enough to make a deep playoff run. But once you get to the tournament, it's always a toss-up. That's what makes the NFL so beautiful, especially when you get into the playoffs. If you can have everything just fall your way, good things happen. And the city looks and it feels different when the Jags are winning. What is the amnesty that season for Trevor? Can it happen this year? And for you guys, what does that look like? I would love to know. 641-1010 on the text line to give us your definition of what an amnesty that season would look for Trevor Lawrence. Speaking of Jamal St. Cyr, let's talk with the Jags analyst from News 4 Jags. What makes him the most curious about the team going into this training camp? We'll discuss that and a whole lot more right here on Open Gym.
Backyard barbecues and sunsets that stretch across the St. John's. Summer on the First Coast. 1010XL, Jacksonville's summer station.
This summer, you can beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through July 31st. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. It's about the hunt.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman.
We take you from the water to the woods.
On the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Let's go to the woods, y'all.
Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Yo, you already know it's your main man, E.T. And no one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails. Served over ice balls, local craft beers, and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. Rounded out with adventurous drink menus, second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree drafts. Check them out now on Atlantic and Kernan. Twin Peaks, eat, drink, scenic views. Come on, somebody.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today. 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jax Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jax Beach, or visit apexroofingfl.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is thrilled to announce you can get all of their flavors and original vodka at PJ Liquors in St. Augustine. PJ Liquors, since 1999, has been serving up summertime fun. Now enjoy Brackish Vodka, the #1 local vodka in North Florida. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka, and you can find their 9 flavors at PJ Liquors. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Filling in for Hacker After Dark, as well as Rick Ballou enjoying their vacation before they are back in town next week, giving you the latest with all things training camp. It just feels like we went to bed and woke up, and here we are. Training camp has now started for the Jacksonville Jaguars, certainly hoping for a big year from Trevor Lawrence and the entire crew that is going to be donning the teal and black this season. As we continue to effort Jamal Saints here, really want to get into some position battles, just a few that maybe you guys are keeping your eye on. There's going to be a few that I'm keeping my eye on outside of the offensive line, because I feel like that's probably the biggest position battle we're going to see. And Liam Cohen has talked about with the offensive line, nobody's position is set in stone. There can be movement. There can be changes. He's brought in and accumulated some pieces from around the league that I feel are going to come in and honestly compete for starting jobs. And outside of the offensive line, for me, the #1 battle that I'll definitely be looking at is that of the running back position. Here you have Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, and Bashal Tutin. Now, last season, Etienne, a decent year, solid year, but Tank Bigsby outplayed him this past season, and I'm starting to wonder who's going to be getting the first team reps for Jacksonville once we get to training camp. Now, Bigsby, I think, one of the big problems we've had is him holding on to the football. He'll certainly have to do a better job with that. Tutin, There's a reason why I'm saying this is a battle. I don't know if Tootin is going to far and away surpass that of Bigsby and ETN to get that first string job. I mean, there's going to be issues with him too in terms of holding on to the football. He has problems with that, but I do believe he has a realistic shot to be running back one somewhere in the middle of the season. And if it doesn't happen this season, I think it's clear for us Jacksonville Jaguar fans that at some point he's going to be running back one. But Bigsby and ETN, they're not going to go down without a fight in training camp. Tootin's going to have to honestly earn it. But because of the fact that I have not heard too much in regards to who's the favorite to be running back one once we get to training camp, I really feel like, to me, that just signifies that there's going to be a lot of movement there. There's going to be a really close eye there once we get to camp. Second, I am looking at that safety position. Darnell Savage, Ransaw, Antonio Johnson. Now, the Eric Murray signing, I think he's going to start at one spot. He'll start at one safety position. But who's going to be there with him? You got Ransaw, but also you have to remember they picked up Lane, too, in the draft. Does he have something he can say? Could he outplay a few of these guys? It does seem to me that they do like Ransaw, and they're going to try to develop him to be a safety at some point. So there's going to be an adjustment period there. So I'm not looking at him as the guy that maybe we should have at the top of the leaderboard, the leader in the clubhouse, to be the safety that'll be adjacent and parallel to that of one Eric Murray. But have you seen enough of Antonio Johnson? Do you say absolutely not? That's not where we want to go. That's not what we want to see. That's not what we want to do. Or do you go in a different direction here if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars? And you say, listen, we're going to go with the vet. We're going to go with Darnell Savage at the other safety spot. That's going to be something I really want to see who separates themselves there. Another one is linebacker number 2. Ventrell Miller, Devin Lloyd, as well as Jack Kaiser. Foye, we understand, is going to be starting. Is the job Devin Lloyd's? Is it? And I know a lot of questions are probably surrounding Lloyd in terms of the fact that, listen, we understand what happened. Jacksonville elected not to pick up his option. So this is a contract year for him. But is he going to be enough for Anthony Campanile to say, you know what, this is going to be another linebacker for me that will be starting alongside that of Foye Oluokun? I really like Ventrell Miller. I do. I like Ventrell Miller as a player. Jack Kaiser, I understand he hasn't signed his deal yet with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that probably gets done sometime soon. However, I think he's a guy that maybe you're looking more towards the future. Maybe it comes to a point to where Jacksonville is going to be looking to go younger. And Foye may be on the outs, or Devin Lloyd is on the outs after this year. Now he steps up into that secondary spot where we're asking probably this time next year who's going to be alongside Foye. Is it Ventrell Miller or Jack Kaiser? That's just something we're going to have to see. But I do believe that there are probably some in the building and in the room that are in love with Jack Kaiser as well. I do appreciate what Jacksonville did in the draft. This was almost kind of quasi what we saw Houston do when they came onto the scene in the past draft. They got in a lot of guys who were former captains. So this isn't someone who we have to teach how to be accountable. That's going to come to work and put on their hard hat every day. Jack Kaiser's one of those guys. I just don't know if Jack Kaiser's going to be ready as of yet. But Devin Lloyd is certainly a guy that I circle, asking whether or not this spot is his. And how does that go if you're coming in and you're saying, listen, that spot's not yours. We're going to elect to go in a different direction. And the final one, I know it doesn't mean a lot just in terms of you should not be looking at your wide receiver 5 or wide receiver 6 to be that guy that's going to be expected to run routes and catch footballs. But I am wondering here, who is going to be number 5? Who is going to be number 6? If you have Thomas Jr., Hunter, Brown, Washington, you got a number of young and unproven options there. Josh Cephas. We're going away from Tim Jones, who it felt like he had a Lifetime Achievement Award. It seemed like his spot was never going to leave, and that he was always going to be that guy. But is Cephas a guy? Payne Cole, is that a guy that, at least in some articles I read, he's looked rather well when it came to that of OTAs and minicamp? Can he do it again? Because, of course, we look at this offensive line, and, of course, we're going to say, listen, we need guys that are going to be able to protect Trevor Lawrence. And Liam Cohen's been an individual that I think has been forthright with Anton Harrison. That was a shot. That was a shout out to one Anton. One of these guys can outplay you for your spot. When you want to, you can be a bad cat. I don't want to hear that, man. When you want to? Is that one of the reasons why Trevor's been on his ass? Because you don't want to? I need 5 guys out there that want to. I think Macari is probably one of the Macari and Hainsley. Those are your 2 guys that probably have their spot. The cement's drying. Not saying that you can't make a last minute, but it seems like from the center position, you're saying, listen, here was a guy, he may have gotten outplayed by a rookie this past season or by a younger cat, but this is a guy that Liam Cohen is entrusting to help Trevor Lawrence learn the offense, put him in a postgraduate course, accelerated learning, if you will, to help him out with the offense. Then you bring in a guy like Macari, who you're saying, listen, this is one of the big uglies that Jacksonville was missing and can certainly help us out. Is Ezra Cleveland's spot solidified to you? Do you like Ezra Cleveland enough to use a hacker sentiment? If I'm not hearing your name, it must mean you're doing something well. And it seemed like there were a few games where he was doing a lot well. Now, at those 2 end spots, Little and Anton, what can we see there? What should we be seeing? And will they bring it to training camp? At least for me, outside of offensive line, my top 4, number 5, number 6, wide receiver, linebacker number 2, safety, and running back. I would love to hear from you guys. What are a couple of battles you'll be looking into coming into this training camp in 2025? RJ Saunders with you. This is Open Gym along with Dylan Denmark. We will come back and we'll get into more of the Jacksonville Jaguars next right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Fall football starts in July with Donovan Air Electric Plumbing SEC Media Days. Catch it live or catch the best of. Locked down by Instant Keys. Catch the best interviews on demand at 1010XL.com.
Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local women-owned solar company. At Clay Solar, we're more than just panels and power. We're about people. We make the switch to clean energy simple, stress-free, and built to last. If you've had a bad experience with solar in the past, we can help. We specialize in dependable solutions and top-notch customer service, so you can finally enjoy the savings and sustainability you deserve. Schedule your free consultation at claysolar.com.
Hi, I'm John Haney from Clearwater Gutters and Drainage. After heavy rains, the problems are obvious. Mulch blown out of your beds, water standing around your foundation, and that fancy new crater back behind your bushes. Let Clearwater Seamless Gutters help you solve the problem spots.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too. Find out more at clearwaterjacks.com.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Some people call it X.
What?
Some still call it Twitter.
Okay, I got it.
Whatever you call it, it's the best place for up-to-the-minute Jags coverage from 1010XL.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hacker here, and guess what my scale reads? 195 pounds. I'm shocked seeing that number, but it's there every month. The weight is staying off after dropping 122 pounds. Absolutely life-changing. Awaken180weightloss.com.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast, and if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians, ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts,
Visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to and should be yours. Online at KuhnFlowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
RJ Saunders, Dylan Denmark here with you on a show we call Open Gym, filling in for Ryan the Hacker Green, Rick Ballou, both on much-needed vacations right before we get into the start of training camp. The 945 on the text line saying, obvious and telling excuses aside, a successful season for 16 is to break 30 touchdowns. And he absolutely has to stop being one of the reasons we lose games. Again, so much bad play contributes from so many, but he cannot keep being someone the team can't count on to not lose games. He's got top-tier pay. Start playing like it. And it seems to me Trevor Lawrence, not to say he probably already didn't get that message or understand that. It's one of those things in which I would like to think he understands because he's heard it enough from individuals like myself. If he's on Twitter, he's probably seeing enough of you guys saying it. There's probably individuals in that building that let him know. Do you see what Orlovsky or Herm Edwards or Keyshawn Johnson, what have you? Do you hear what these guys are saying about you? And he says that, he has a lot of good years ahead of him. And they're building this whole entire thing around me. And what they've done, he likes. What is the amnesty that season for Trevor Lawrence? And I happen to agree with the number of touchdowns. Can he break 30 TDs? He hasn't done it yet. Can he go under 14 interceptions? Said it at the top of the show that in 2023, Trevor Lawrence threw 21 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. And that was good for a 9-8 record. Doesn't it feel like to you that's still middle of the pack? Right? It still feels that way to you? Something that I wouldn't stand for. I wouldn't be satisfactory with. But if he figures it out, if this offense is supposed to give him all the answers, and as our next guest is going to let us know that if this is an offense, once the screws are tight and we're going to love it, then I think Trevor Lawrence is in for a big year. Speaking of the guy who said it, let's welcome him right now.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Our next guest is really making me jealous here over the fact that Derek Queen looked like he's going to be a part of that next great cluster of playmaking big men that's going to take over the NBA. You get Joe Dumars, and now all of a sudden you get great draft picks. Who would have thunk that? But when he's not talking and cheering for the New Orleans Pelicans, he is talking Jacksonville Jaguar football. He is Jamal St. Cyr of News for Jags, joining us here on Open Gym. Jamal, it is always a pleasure, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you having me on. Yeah, hopefully the Pelicans can finally get this stuff together for me.
Absolutely. And another team that we are looking to get their stuff together is the Jacksonville Jaguars, in particular that of Trevor Lawrence. And, I mean, you posted it. It's where I saw it first on his comments on Pardon My Take. And, he talks about needing to take the next step, being more consistent. And I'm trying to think that this year probably needs to be the equivalent of the Kobe amnesty that game that Kobe had where he had 38, 12, and 7 I think Trevor Lawrence needs a year to where he can, look at all of us and say amnesty that. For you, what would kind of be an amnesty that season for Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, I think you're right. He does need to have a good year. I think you need to see consistency. I think we've seen it from him. You think back to that 2019 season down the stretch. I mean, he was playing fantastic football. Even at times the year after that, before they kind of fell off the rails there, I think they were doing good things, and it just kind of all didn't come together. Not 2019, 2021. But I think Trevor has to do it consistently over the course of a year.
Right.
That would be the amnesty that for him is can we see the guy that we've seen glimpses of
right
consistently over the course of a season? Because that's the difference, right?
Right.
I mean, we don't need to not know who's going to show up from week to week from him.
Now, outside of Trevor Lawrence and what we are going to see from him in training camp, what's the biggest curiosity that you have when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars going into training camp?
I really want to see how this offense comes together. Around Trevor.
Right.
This is all new. I mean, think about it. The only guy that really played a big role on the offense that was catching passes last year is Brian Thomas.
Right.
So it's going to be a whole lot of different guys making plays, whether it's Travis Hunter, whether it's De'Ami Brown, whether it's Brenton Strange. So there's a whole lot of pieces here. And, for me, I want to keep an eye on De'Ami Brown. I mean, he caught a bunch of passes during the offseason program. They have a big belief in him. I mean, I like what I've seen from him, but honestly, he didn't do a ton to his resume during his time up in Washington. So It's like, okay, well, what can you really expect from this guy? And honestly, I don't know. So that's kind of probably a guy I want to keep a real close eye on and see, just how it all comes together.
Now, in our last segment, we talked about position battles, and, you bring up, that of running back. You can also think about, linebacker who's going to be alongside that of Foye Oluokun. You can also talk about the safety position and who's going to be alongside that of Eric Murray. So if I'm to take the offensive line just out of the equation, because I feel like that's already understood that there's going to be a battle there, and the best 5 guys are going to be the ones that are going to be out there week 1. But what's a position battle for you in 2025 going into training camp that you'll be keeping a close eye on?
I mean, I think safety's a tough one. I think Dewey's put together a really good offseason. But when you got a guy like Caleb Ransaw that this regime drafted, and they've made it pretty clear that they want to play their young guys, I think it's going to be tough for Dewey to hold on to that starting spot. I mean, running back, we've all all talked about, the Tootin draft pick and so on and so forth. So can Travis Etienne kind of hold off the dogs? And as far as LaQuint Allen as a passing down back, that's a Travis and Tank, and they keep those reps away from these rookie guys. Right there. So, I mean, I think those are the spots where I'm going to be keeping a real close eye on. Plus, after your top 3 receivers, it's going to be dog-eat-dog in that receiver room. I mean, I think there's a chance that maybe we get at least 1 or 2 maybe undrafted guys that make the roster in that receiver room.
Continuing our conversation with Jamal St. Cyr of News for Jags here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. When it comes to that running back room, you give all the guys that are there, and Bigsby, Etienne, Tootin, as well as LaQuint Allen. Do we know who's going to be getting, the first team reps? Do you kind of have an idea? It seems like that's one of the positions in which I'm looking at saying, you know what? I truly don't know who's going to be RB1 come week 1.
I mean, look, I'm not going to tell you I know. I don't think anybody knows. I'm not sure the coaching staff has made that decision as of right now. I mean, I think it's going to be a hard press for one of the rookies to get to that spot. But if you told me it was Travis or Tank, I'd believe you. Right now, I tend to lean Tank's the guy come week 1.
Okay.
But, that one is something that could truly go either way. I think it's going to be who has the best camp, who shows the coaching staff that they can trust them the most. And I think that's going to be the guy who's going to get it. But don't construe that as the other ones won't be involved. I fully expect that this is going to be a committee kind of backfield. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw 2, 3, even some games, maybe 4 running backs touching the football.
Now, last time we had you on, you spoke about just how critical a year this is for one Trevor Lawrence. But aside from him, who are you looking at on this football team just in terms of it's a critical year for them for the team's success?
I mean, for the team's success, I think that you got to go right back to the defensive line.
Okay.
And I think you could even say it's a critical year for his career for a guy like Eric Armstead. I mean, think about it. He's had a ton of success in San Francisco, came to Jacksonville last year, and it was a year to, forget.
Right.
And right now, I'm in the group that says, the resume says that last year was a blip on the radar, and we can expect him to kind of get back to where he was at. But if you start stringing together years, it's going to be quick before people say, maybe the game's passed him by.
Right.
And as far as for the team's success, last year it was no secret that the defensive ends and like Trayvon and Josh got the job done. There was nothing to speak of from the interior of the defensive line. So if you can get Eric Armstead back at defensive tackle, giving you some resemblance of his old self there that provides an interior pass rush push, that makes Josh and Trayvon's life easier, and that'll make that defense that much more dangerous. It's real tough when you give a quarterback like a clean pocket for Trayvon and Josh to really, wreak havoc back there. So I think Eric Armstead, in more ways than one, this is kind of a make or break kind of year for him.
Continuing our conversation with Jamal St. Cyr right here on Open Gym. Foye Oluokun was an honorable mention in ESPN's top linebacker list going into this season. However, it did seem that, there were few that were talking about the fact that Devin Lloyd wasn't an honorable mention. I don't know personally if, that spot is going to be solidified for Devin Lloyd, come week 1, that he'll be starting alongside Foye Oluokun. But just how important do you think Lloyd can be to Anthony Campanile and this defense that we're going to see here in 2025?
I mean, I'd be shocked if he's not starting, right? I mean, he does still have the 1 year left on his contract, and they decided not to pick up the option. But I'd be shocked if he's not starting. I know they drafted Jack Kaiser, and I could make the same argument that we were talking about a little while ago for Ransaw of them wanting to play the young guys. But I would be absolutely floored if Lloyd lost that spot. As far as like Foye just being an honorable mention, I mean, this dude has been slept on his entire career.
Right.
It's at this point not even a surprise. All he does is rack up tackles and get the job done. That doesn't surprise me. But I'd be floored if any of the other linebackers were able to pass Lloyd on the depth chart for week 1. I mean, I think Kaiser or Ventrell Miller maybe could do it, but I think that would be a tough sell. I think that's going to be a tough job to do. I think Lloyd's still got some growing to do, whether that ends up being here in Jacksonville or somewhere else after this season. We'll have to wait and see.
Now, last one for you before I let you go. And again, thanks again for giving us a couple moments of your time here, Jamal. I asked this to Shipley last night. ESPN giving a C grade to the Jaguars offseason really created quite the stir here in the 904. Just kind of your opinion on their grade and whether or not you agreed with it, and what grade would you give it?
I mean, look, I can see where the C comes from. But, I mean, I'd give it a better grade than that. I'd give it at least it was a different kind of offseason for us here in Jacksonville. I mean, when you start looking at the offseason as a whole, I like what they did. I would give them at least a B.
Okay.
At least a B.
Okay.
But when you look at some of the, players that they brought in free agency, if you don't understand maybe the vision for a guy like De'Ami Brown, if you don't understand what they were going for when they go and get Eric Murray, those aren't flashy names on a piece of paper.
Right.
So if you're somebody at ESPN who's sitting down trying to grade this thing and you start looking at these names in the free agent class, you can kind of start to understand where they're like, maybe they slacked off just a little bit here.
Right.
And drop the grade a little bit. So I can see it, but I would give them at least a B, probably a B plus-ish range.
Okay.
I think they did a lot of good things to improve a lot of the weaknesses on the team and still leave room for growth so that way their young players don't end up buried on the depth chart. So you can find out what you got in some of these guys that you just drafted.
It's going to be an exciting time in a couple of days for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they're going to begin training camp, and we're even more excited that we'll be getting breakdowns consistently from one Jamal St. Cyr of News for Jags. Jamal, as always, thank you for giving us a couple moments of your time. And like I said, I'm giving you a lot of hate here because Joe Dumars seems to do it again with the draft picks and Derek Queen. But thank you so much again, Jamal, man, and we'll do this sometime down the road.
All right, for sure, RJ. Anytime, man.
There he goes, Jamal St. Cyr of News for Jags, giving us great insight on the Jacksonville Jaguars and training camp. I give it a B too. I give it a grade, although, yeah, I can understand ESPN giving it a C, but I also believe that's probably ESPN not really going too much in depth with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's been Jacksonville quite a lot. Always being the team that's looked over. And I understand you didn't get the flashy names, but look at a team like the Houston Texans. The Texans. You basically are airlifting a whole new offensive line, and that's supposed to work. That's going to be a very telling year for them in Houston. When you look at this whole entire division, it is not that hard. I think Jacksonville, with the players they got, the huge roster turnover in which they had, I think it's in a message to everyone there on the team. I also feel like a lot of these pieces are going to work. But, like we said yesterday, the great thing about paper, the great thing about playing against air, neither of those two things hit back. And they do not give you a win-loss record. We're going to see this in training camp, see it in preseason, and week 1 against the Carolina Panthers. Was Kobe Bryant not a top 5 player of all time? This is sickening me. So we're going to speak with Trevor Lane of the Front Office Show next to discuss this on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the Gator Podcast Channel with Frank Frangie and me, Dan Hicken, on all things Gators. Hacker and Denny Thompson have Gator Bites, and you can find them wherever you find podcasts or at 1010XL.com. Presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
It's the way the game was meant to be heard. Raw, real, and right in your ear.
Right side coming! Touchdown! Yeah!
Feel the energy on 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At The Y, summer camps every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialists performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso Spine and Joint Pain Specialists.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
I always feel on top of the world when I hear this song, and I can't tell you the amount of trouble I'd get in school acting like I was listening in class, but I was reading our next guest's great work when he was working for then the Silver Screen and Roll. Now he's doing incredible work with Lakers Nation as well as the front office show with Keith Smith. He is Trevor Lane, so gracious to give us a couple moments of his time to discuss all things concerning the hardwood. Mr. Lane, thank you. Would not do it justice, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show. And, man, all the way back for Silver Screen, I wasn't even with them all that long. You really have been around for a while.
Absolutely. No, as a guy who's from the L.A. area, Los Angeles County, man, I always was trying to dive into a lot of Lakers stuff, became a fan of yours just very early. And, to be talking with you on air, sir, it's definitely a dream come true for me to be talking with the great Trevor Lane and always keeping us just abreast on all things Lakers going on. But you do talk NBA as a whole, and that's something that I do want to get into with you. Just give us one winner and one loser so far, in your opinion, this offseason.
In terms of a winner, I love what the Houston Rockets have done this summer, and there's a few teams that have done some great things that we could talk about. Certainly the Denver Nuggets as well. I think they've had a really nice summer, but the Houston Rockets, getting Kevin Durant, I think he solves the biggest problems that they had, particularly which showed up in the playoffs, and that's scoring in the half court. He's one of the best to do it ever that we've ever seen in this game, and so he is, I think, a great addition to that team. I thought the price tag in terms of the trade was wonderful for the Rockets, and that and everything else they've done since then, getting Clint Capella, keeping Steven Adams, the deal that they struck with Fred VanVleet, bringing in Dorian Finney-Smith.
Right.
This Rockets team is ready to make a real run. So I love the summer that the Rockets have had. As far as the loser, I'm not really impressed with what the Utah Jazz have done this summer. I didn't love the value. I like them going and getting Ace Bailey. I think they did a nice job there calling his bluff and saying, nope, we're going to select you anyway, even if you're trying to avoid that from happening. But the trades they made, taking Colin Sexton, taking John Collins, Jordan Clarkson, and getting no picks really. When you look at the total ledger, they gave up a second-round pick in one deal, got a second-round pick in another. That was a bit disappointing, and I think we're still kind of a bit directionless in Utah right now. So I'm a bit underwhelmed with what's going on with the Utah Jazz.
You bring up the Houston Rockets, and we had Steve Ashburner on yesterday from NBA.com, and he has OKC as the favorite to repeat as champions. And if that does happen, we'll break the streak of, I think it's now 7 different NBA champions. But do you think that happens in terms of them repeating with the influx of talent that has now come in and infiltrated the West? We're seeing teams like Denver where they're now putting solid pieces around Nikola Jokic to where they can be competitive. Once again, the Houston Rockets doing what they did with acquiring Kevin Durant, also Dorian Finney-Smith. You also have Dallas there that, they bring in D'Angelo Russell. They bring in Anthony Davis from this past season. Cooper Flagg, it seems like he's going to have a strong rookie season. Then you're bringing Kyrie Irving back. Hopefully he'll be back, sometime after the All-Star break. And then you also look at that Eastern Conference. I think that that's wide open as well. And there's going to be a few teams that are probably going to look at OKC and say, we can stare you guys in the face and take you on. So do we see an 8th different champion at the end of next year? Or do you think that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be a team that's going to repeat?
Yeah, recent history has told us that repeat champions don't happen as often, obviously, in today's NBA.
Right.
And, that's the collective bargaining agreement. That's a lot of different factors that are coming into play, increased parity around the NBA. But while that's the case, I think if anybody was going to do it, it's OKC. I would still take the field over the Thunder just because of how deep the West is and how close the West is. And I do think there's a few teams that are still, standing in the Eastern Conference that is very depleted, but still a few teams that could be a threat if they get through. So I would still take the field over the Thunder. But look, if anybody's going to do it, anybody's going to make a multi-year run under the new rules that we're operating under, or new-ish rules that we're operating under, the Thunder are best set up to do it, and that they've got not just a team that is largely being kept together from last season. They've got new contracts for Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. They've got the right type of build in terms of the defense that they play, the offense that they play. They've got all those pieces. They also have the ability, because of the amount of draft capital that they have, to make future moves, to make moves to fix any problems that may pop up mid-season. So if anybody's going to do it, it's OKC. But I'll still take the field right now over the Thunder because there's a lot of parity around the league, and there's a lot of good teams out there.
He is Trevor Lane of Lakers Nation, also the front office show with Keith Smith. He's joining us now on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. You're a Lakers guy. I'm a Lakers fan, both from the Los Angeles area. We do understand the story that's going on surrounding that of one LeBron James. Just want to know from you, do you think LeBron James is a Laker for the entirety of this season? Do we see him on the move? Just kind of, what have you been making of all this with LeBron James going into year 23?
Yeah, I still think the most likely scenario is LeBron returns to the Lakers and stays with the Lakers, and that's just the way this ultimately plays out. I think this is about as close as we've seen him to any. The reporting is that he has not threatened to ask for a trade, but this is about as close as we've come to him actually doing that. If the team does not improve, and clearly he is still evaluating things, we'll see where it all goes. But I do think that ultimately his best shot at winning is with the Lakers, and frankly, I don't see a really plausible trade option out there for him, nor do I think the Lakers will buy him out. It's possible he just leaves in free agency next summer, but I do think he sticks with the Lakers this coming season, and that when the dust settles, cooler heads prevail here. LeBron's with the Lakers, and hopefully they can do a lot of winning together.
Now, when it comes to the LA Lakers, and, I think LeBron James as well as Luka Doncic here have both said that they want a winning product out there on the floor and winning pieces around them. And for me, I'm kind of disgruntled. I'm always refreshing Twitter just to see whether or not the Lakers are going to make a move. Do you think that they make a move here? I mean, I know 2027 is the year that Rob Pelinka is looking at, but it also felt that in his exit interview, he said, like, listen, we want to put a winning product around LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves. But to me, outside of the LaRavia and Ayton moves, it's been a stagnant offseason. Maybe they're out of the sweepstakes for one Andrew Wiggins, so I don't know where the pivot's going to be there. But is there another move that you feel is going to be made this offseason by the LA Lakers, or do they stand pat going into next season?
I don't think it's going to be anything significant if there is a move to be made. Maybe it's something, I've heard about Marcus Smart, to keep an eye on him with the Washington Wizards if he gets bought out. Maybe he's a player the Lakers would have some interest in. Josh Okogie is a player who just got released today. Maybe the Lakers could use a little more wing depth, and they would look at somebody like him, but not the kind of big-time move that I think a lot of Lakers fans are hoping for here. And I think that's for a variety of reasons, but it's also been the front office's MO for a few years now, is to go into the season and then get a true sense of what the roster needs or doesn't need, rather than just react to what they are or are not on paper. And, there's definitely some drawbacks to doing it that way, especially we've seen them struggle mid-season to try to develop chemistry on the fly. That's not an easy thing.
Right.
But they're also very asset poor. They don't have a lot of future picks.
Right.
They don't have a lot of cap space to play with or anything like that. And so they're going to have to, whatever they do, they're going to have to get it right. And if the right move, in their opinion, is not available right now, we've seen they will wait until the season and then go into the year, December, January, trying to look to make something happen out there on the trade market. I think that's the most likely outcome here.
Okay.
I don't think it's what anybody necessarily wants to see. Everybody wants to see a Lakers roster that is ready to roll from opening night. But right now, I don't see the move out there for them. Maybe Rob Pelinka conjures up something at Summer League here, but I think right now they're probably pretty well set unless there's a buyout situation. Somebody hits the market. They do have a decision to make on Shake Milton's contract by the 20th. I'd imagine they are probably going to cut him loose there, open up a roster spot, a little bit more financial flexibility, and then maybe they do something small with that.
Continuing our conversation with Trevor Lane of Lakers Nation, as well as the front office show, joining us here on Open Gym. As much as I would love to turn this into a complete Lakers interview, because, I love listening to you and your Lakers analysis, there's just a couple of more teams that I do want to ask you about. One being the Orlando Magic. They do get a lot of play here in Jacksonville. Very excited to see what they do this season with the moves that they made in the offseason. Just for you as a national guy, is this team for you one that you think NBA fans should be keeping an eye on come next season?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely, they should be. And there's a few reasons for that. Number one, obviously, would be the Desmond Bane trade. I've gotten to see him quite a bit in Memphis, and he's fantastic. Desmond Bane is exactly what the Magic have been missing. He's not just a shooter. He's also a really good secondary playmaker, and that's something that Orlando has badly needed. It's part of the reason why their three-point percentage was so poor last year. It wasn't just bad shooting. It was a lack of playmaking to create those open looks to bring percentages up, and Des Bane will help with that. He also doesn't hurt you much on the defensive end of the floor, which can't be said for a lot of guys who are shooters out there in the NBA. So that's going to fit with the defensive excellence that we already see in Orlando. I think there's going to be some positive regression coming to some of the three-point shooting as well.
Right.
I think there's guys who are simply going to bounce back. If you can get as well health out of Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. I mean, these are guys who dealt with oblique injuries last year, random, bizarre stuff happening on the injury front. If you can get Jalen Suggs back and healthy, the Orlando Magic could very quickly go from this kind of a grind-to-watch defensive team that just has so many players out injured and can't really get any kind of rhythm offensively to very quickly a real threat who keeps that defensive excellence that they had last year, but increases their offensive output to a high degree and becomes one of the teams in the East that says, hey, why not us? We can be the team to make that run. And I think Orlando's done a great job this offseason. I also like the Tyus Jones addition for them, adding more shooting, more playmaking to their backcourt. So I think Orlando is 100% a team to keep a very, very close eye on this season because they're primed to make some noise.
Staying with the Orlando Magic, just for one more question with you, just how big of a year can this be for one Paolo Banchero? Because, for all us hoop heads such as yourself, I mean, we see him put up, just amazing numbers night after night. And it just seems to me that a lot of national outlets may not be giving him the love that maybe guys like yourself, guys like me, and others that enjoy the game of basketball and watching star players do what they do. He just hasn't seemed to get that love that we feel he probably deserves. So just your thoughts on Paolo Banchero and how big of a year this could be for him, for individuals in the league who haven't given him his respect yet. He can earn that respect and have them understand he's going to be one of these guys that you're going to have to keep an eye on for years to come.
Yeah, he's a rising star in this league. And I think the timing of his injury last year was truly unfortunate in terms of him bursting onto that national scene, because he was doing it. He started off the season so well, and then that injury hit. Terrible, terrible timing. And so then what happened was you have the bulk of the early stages of the season, which is when a lot of the narratives start getting really formed around the NBA about who's having a breakout year, who's not all of that. Those narratives can be difficult to break as the season goes on. And so, unfortunately, Paolo Banchero was not out there on the floor for people to see how good he is. And then by the time he came back, the Magic were kind of known as this slog of a team that struggled offensively. They weren't necessarily a fun watch on a night-in, night-out basis. And so, unfortunately, I think that meant you got less attention on Paolo Banchero. And then I think the team's shooting woes were problematic for Paolo as well, because the floor wasn't as open for him as it needed to be. I think all of those things will be corrected this season. I thought last year was going to be the year that he was going to really burst onto the national stage and people were going to really start recognizing what he could do. I think that was derailed by the injury, but this year then will, as long as he can stay healthy, will become the year. He's fantastic, and I think the way the Magic are set up, they've given him a team here that can really showcase what he can do. So I think his stock is going to be rising this coming season.
Final moments with Trevor Lane, Lakers Nation, also the co-host of the Front Office Show, joining us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Bleacher Report, you should know where I'm going with this, Trevor. They come out with their top 100 players of all time, and I'll be honest with you, I want to fly to Los Angeles or wherever Bleacher Report is tomorrow, set up a boxing match with them, because how do you have Kobe Bryant as the 11th greatest player of all time? Just in your opinion, what did you think about the list, and where do you have Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, all time?
I mean, I'm obviously going to have him in my top 10. There's no question there. I've seen the impact that he's made in Los Angeles, both on and off the court.
Right.
So he would definitely fall in my top 10. However, I tend to not get too upset with these kind of lists and things, because no matter what, the reality is these are all great players.
Yeah.
And no matter what, whoever's left out of the top 10, there will be outrage because that player, I mean, who are we talking about? Like, Wilt Chamberlain gets bumped. Steph Curry gets bumped, right? These are the caliber of player that we're talking about. So no matter what happens, no matter who gets in that top 10, somebody's going to be angry. And what I don't like about these conversations, and this is part of why these lists get created, it's to create conversation, to create people to get people to debate and be upset about it. But what I don't like is it typically turns into pushing somebody down in order to lift another player up and say, oh, this player doesn't deserve it because of X, Y, and Z. These are all great players. They should all be celebrated.
Right.
And I'm not going to lose sleep over one list not having Kobe in the top 10 or whatever. Look, there's incredible talents in the NBA. We can enjoy all of them. And where people want to rank them, they can rank them wherever they want. Kobe's an all-time great. Curry's an all-time great. Wilt Chamberlain's done things that we've never seen anybody else do on the court. Like, there's a lot of incredible players. So I'm not going to be too upset with Bleacher Report for their ranking here. But it is good off-season content for them, certainly, to generate a little bit of buzz and get people talking.
Shaquille O'Neal called it criminal that Kobe Bryant was left outside of the top 10. However, it always does make great conversation, and I'm always thankful to be able to break it down with a guy who I've been looking up to for years in Trevor Lane, doing great work with Lakers Nation. Also, the Front Office Show, make sure to catch that. He and Keith Smith do an incredible job there. Joining us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM, Trevor Lane, so gracious, giving us a couple moments of his time. Trevor, thank you so much, and hopefully we can do this again sometime down the road, man.
Absolutely. No problem. Thank you for having me, and would love to do it again.
Absolutely. There he goes. Trevor Lane, Lakers Nation, as well as the Front Office Show. He and Keith Smith do an incredible job there. He's off the phone now. He's off the phone. He's off the phone. Yeah, I'm mad. Okay? Come Kobe Bryant not top 10? Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. I'm fine. I'm cool. This was Bleacher Report's top 10. Just want to see whether or not you guys on the text line are out there in Jacksonville agree with it. Those who are NBA fans. MJ, 1. LeBron, 2. Kareem, 3. Magic, 4. Russell, 5. Shaq, 6. Duncan, 7. Bird, 8. Wilt, 9. Steph, 10. Kobe, 11th. Children, don't do drugs. That's a PSA from one RJ Saunders. Speaking of the quote-unquote number 2 player of all time, we talked about him just quite a few moments ago with Trevor Lane. LeBron James, this whole drama in which is going on, will he get traded? Is there a place in which would take him? Is there a suitor? Let's kind of discuss that next right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Who conquers the links and claims the Claret Shot?
Oh, he's done it.
Take your shot at the Open Championship with 1010XL's You Pick'em contest. Teed up by Pella Windows and Doors. You could win $1,000 of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jax Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jax Beach, or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers. Anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
It's not girl talk, it's sports talk.
Coming after you!
Tom McManus adds his helmet to the heels with Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl.
Let's talk football.
Football! At a new time, afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water in my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Hey, Jacksonville, need a fence and ready to save? At Superior Fence and Rail, you'll lock in 5% off your fence project when you sign by the end of July. A limited time offer for savings and peace of mind this summer. Now accepting appointments for a free estimate. So act fast and get 5% off your entire fence project when you finalize by July 31st. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. In the summertime, it really can stretch out most of the year because we love the warm temperatures here in the Sunshine State. Greg, give them an idea of what Honda has to offer.
They are all over the board. They've got Honda scooters, Honda motorcycles, we've got Honda boats, we've got Honda side-by-sides. Whatever you like, we've got it.
That means adventure is waiting.
That's right, and we're ready for you.
In the showroom, you can find all that Honda has to offer on Atlantic near Regency, or check out Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
When the heat is on and we need a show we really care, do it with a full arrangement from Kuhn Flowers. This is Dylan Denmark. Let's make their day better than yesterday. Online at kuhnflowers.com since 1947.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Yeah, when it comes to Bleacher Report's list of the top 100 players of all time, you have Kobe, number 11. I'll throw some D's on it. All right. Those dumb, sorry, children are listening. Those not smart people saying that Kobe Bryant was not cracking the top 10. That's why I appreciate guys like the 651 and the 903. Got some good sense. Kobe Bryant certainly a top player. Not saying that you have to put him top 3. Not saying you have to put him number 2, like me. That's what I do. Not top 10. I would love to hear the argument. And if anybody does have an argument why Kobe Bryant's not top 10, let me know. 641-1010 on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosure. So, LeBron James, this end game, I don't get it. That's why I wanted to ask Trevor Lane about it, because I don't get what the end game is for one LeBron James. Let me kind of give this a Jaguars feel to it before I get to LeBron, because I've always said that Travis Hunter has the opportunity to be the biggest star this season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in no way does it, in my opinion, make Trevor Lawrence jealous. I haven't heard him in any way be jealous of the star that we are going to see in one Travis Hunter this coming season. I think Trevor welcomes it. And I think maybe it takes a little bit of the spotlight off of him, and more eyes and more cameras are going to be watching every single thing that Travis Hunter does. And for that should give Trevor Lawrence some form of relief, right? It doesn't mean that this is Travis Hunter's team, though, in my opinion. I still believe this is Trevor's team, but having a guy that has a bigger personality than you, I think works a great deal. I just don't think Trevor Lawrence is this guy that always wants to be in front of the camera. I think he likes being a lot more behind the scenes. And I think in our normal lives, I think we enjoy that, having that kind of a buffer, having that kind of help. So now when you get to this LeBron James standpoint, it's something I understand, but I don't at the same time, if that makes any sense. Hear me out. For the first time in LeBron James's career, I think this is probably the weakest grip he has in terms of leverage on a team. And you have a player now who they've acquired in Luka Doncic. It's his team now. And it's not like LeBron James hasn't been a guy that's not willing to give jewels to certain players. Remember, he said, Kyrie, I was willing to teach him everything that I knew before he decided to up and leave and go to Boston. LeBron James also talking about Anthony Davis. This needs to be his team. He needs to take over so he can take some of the weight off of me and what I have to do night after night. Then he had a guy in Dwayne Wade who gave up his status in Miami as the quote-unquote face of the franchise, the best player on the team, and the leader of the Miami Heat. Basically saying, I got to give that up to LeBron James for the embetterment of the team. But I think this is the first time ever there's a team now that's saying we're not building around LeBron. And granted, this is a guy that finished 6th in MVP voting last year. And, you know, a man going into his 40s in year 22, I think this is a guy that's saying you should still be willing to build around me. Also Luka, but maybe I should be more of the vocal point. I shouldn't be a guy that you're pushing all the way down. But LeBron James should probably know better than anybody that, like any job in America, eventually you're going to hear this quote, it's a young man's game. And that young man right now is Luka Doncic, and who the Lakers are trying to build around. So I feel like LeBron, at least for the last time in his career, is trying to be that a passive aggressive. And Rich Paul is saying, although we understand this is Luka's team, well, LeBron James wants to win another championship. And if Los Angeles isn't willing to do that, maybe we can go somewhere else. However, I think opting into that contract, it's rather difficult. So this passive-aggressive approach, the Lakers don't really have to listen to it because you have his rights for another year. But now, all of a sudden, LeBron James doesn't want to talk to anyone? Here's Rich Paul talking about LeBron James and the situation with the Los Angeles Lakers and how this entire thing is going on so far.
For us, hey, let those people do their job. It's not for us to rebuttal or to try to give clarity on what's said, what's not said. That's not the focus. The focus is, hey, man, enjoy your summer. Obviously, I wear a lot of different hats, so I have a lot of things on my plate that I'm doing. You know, I'm in the office every day at the UTA campus right there in Beverly Hills, working hard every day. So that's my focus. I'm not, you know, you can't dispel everything someone has to say.
Yeah.
And you've been around this thing a long time. There's never been an expectation on anyone like it's been on him. But my thing is just continue to find your joy. You know, you can't go out here and try to prove everyone wrong or, you know, align with or wanting to make sure that everyone is right. The critique is going to be the critique, but, you know, the respect level for all the guys playing, and I know the respect level, obviously, for someone at LeBron's level and his tenure and all the things he's accomplished. Again, you can't buy into those things, but people got to do their job. And so we understand that, and he understands that. But I think how you do things is what my focus is. And it's been class personified, you know, pretty much for the most part in any organization, and you have to remain that way.
So if they're going to be class personified, this just doesn't look like the way in which you do it. And I think in terms of being, I hate saying this as a Lakers fan, but this is a mid team. I think they're going to hover around 5, 6, 7 this year. Could they win a first round series? I don't know. They're not going to win a title. But if there are no other moves to be made, and LeBron James is, let's just say, let's run with it. He says that he wants to be traded. Where is he going to go? There's 4 teams reportedly that are interested in one LeBron James: the Clippers, Dallas, Golden State, and the Cavs. And here's where LeBron James' passive aggressiveness shows. He's starting to take pictures in Cleveland, had the welcome home t-shirt, if you saw that on social media. And hey, the East is wide open, and the Cavs have a really good team. And maybe you add me to the Cleveland Cavaliers, we can represent the East in the NBA Finals. It'd be a storybook ending to one historic career. But it does seem weird to me that you would go this route if you're one LeBron James, because LA has done nearly everything in their power to make LeBron James happy. We drafted your son, for crying out loud. We got you Anthony Davis. Also got him Russell Westbrook, which to me, I think when the book comes out, LeBron James is going to have to admit that he ixnay on the DeRozan and Buddy Hield move. I want Westbrook because, Harden, Kyrie, and KD have all hooked up in Brooklyn. I'm not Thanos. I can't beat those 3 by myself and with Anthony Davis. So I need a third star. Just trust me on this one. The only move, I guess, for me that makes sense, because I feel like he's wanted that for a while, would be Golden State. Steph Curry, also a guy who's believing that this is his final run at getting an NBA championship, but the Lakers don't want to take on any extra money outside of 2027 because they feel that they're going to get Nikola Jokic or Giannis Antetokounmpo. I love us delusional Lakers fans. But why would you trade him if you're the Lakers? Why would you? You have his rights. Why would you buy him out? Because he's throwing a temper tantrum? He didn't have to sign his option. Didn't have to do it. But maybe cooler heads prevail here. And he gives it a fair shot. He gives it a fair shake. And maybe that's the best thing even for Luka Doncic, to learn as much as he can from LeBron James before you officially are now handing the reins over to Luka. But I do want to ask you guys, this is not a Lakers topic. This is just really just for LeBron James in the final twilight of his career. If he were to get bought out or if he were to get traded, would you want him on your team? I asked that about Nick Saban last night. I'll ask it about LeBron James. If you were the Magic and you had to give up a few pieces, maybe Franz being one of them, would you say, let's ride with LeBron James and Paolo Banchero, but the East being that wide open? Or is it thanks, but no thanks? 40 years old, still can produce, but not the thing in which we need. This is definitely an interesting conversation. I've just had a lot of feelings on it and wanted to touch on it just a little bit. That's going to be my last time talking about LeBron James. I've spoken about him for 2 nights in a row. Ugh. We'll close it out next right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Be the first to hear from the players and coaches of the SEC.
That's awesome.
The Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing SEC Media Days. Elevated by Lucas Tree Service, Pine Royale Golf Club, and 904 Gutters with a Z.
Hacker here, and with 4th of July in the rearview mirror now, all eyes are pointing towards Labor Day and football season. How would you like to drop some weight prior to football season's arrival? Well, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. Back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In just a couple of short weeks, I was down almost 40 pounds thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's that quick. The coaching you get, the information you get, it's all perfect with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and they can change your life very, very quickly. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me, a guy that failed in numerous diet programs over the years. I succeeded with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Don't just stand there. Everything you need to turn $1 into an epic win is in your hand. Hard Rock Bet. Bet it, parlay it, boost it. However you want to do it. From wherever you are to the moon. Bet anytime a line, prop, or parlay catches your eye. And withdraw cash when you want it. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
From the edge of your radio to the edge of your seat. Showtime! Feel the excitement of live play-by-play.
And this place is rocking right now.
On 1010XL.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
How many Major League Baseball players have played exclusively for the Yankees and the Mets?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Just 6 Major League players have played exclusively for the Yankees and the Mets, including the famous Yankee catcher Yogi Berra.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Registration is now open for the Circle K Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. Over $250,000 in cash and prizes available, with payouts up to 20 places. Of course, there's great prizes for lady anglers, and bring along your junior anglers as well. Register today at kingfishtournament.com. Even if you're not on the water, spectators will enjoy fun exhibits, food, kids' activities, and a fireworks display. At the Circle K Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament,
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Amnesty that. Trevor Lawrence needs an amnesty that season. With us being so split down the middle, this fan base being split down the middle when it comes to that of Trevor Lawrence. 657 saying this is the season we realize that Trevor Lawrence is fool's gold. I believe the rift between Doug and Trevor, as well as the front office, was that Doug didn't want to sign him to a big contract. And we find out he was correct this season. I understand that's one side of the pendulum, but that is scary. And that's something that we do not need. And I don't think it's going to happen. I really hope that those of you who think like this are absolutely wrong, because we can't have that here in Jacksonville. And I do understand that time is on Trevor Lawrence's side. You paid him $275 million. So he's going to have time behind center, not only for this year, but for a few more. But you have to see the development. You have to give us something where we can be anxious and excited for the next year. I think the floor with this team, which we'll discuss tomorrow, I think the floor with this team is 9-8. That's the floor. Anything below that, I mean, yeah, grab your torch and pitchforks. This division is not as difficult as maybe some would like to make it out to be. I know there are a few that say, why are you sleeping on the Colts? Well, you know, I think there's a lot of questions there at quarterback for the Colts. Questions arising other places. This does look to be a two-man race. Now, maybe you look at 9-8 as a successful season for Jacksonville, be it they were a team that almost in 5 games last year. But if Trevor Lawrence can be the catalyst, and earlier in this program, we had somebody say if Trevor Lawrence can get over 30 touchdowns, that's something that he hasn't done in his career yet. If all the answers are supposed to be there for one Trevor Lawrence with this offense Liam Cohen is implementing, who's to say that he can't be one of the top quarterbacks in this league? If you listen to the Pardon My Take podcast in the portion in which Trevor Lawrence speaks, he thinks he's a top 10 guy. I disagree. But can he get there? If ESPN has Baker Mayfield, a guy who we probably thought was either A, out of the league, or B, was going to be a career backup, and they say he's a top 10 quarterback going into 2025, Trevor Lawrence, a guy who maybe many of us believe has more talent, natural talent, than one Baker Mayfield, he should be able to put up better numbers. And I'm not talking about year one. I'm not saying he needs to throw for 41 touchdowns. If he gets there, I mean, my goodness. But if he gets over 30 and you throw for less than 14 interceptions, I can live with that. Can you? But as we talked about last night, this is all going to start out with buy-in for this team. And it's really going to start with one Trevor Lawrence. He's saying the right things. We also heard that clip of Jacksonville Jaguar players talking about Trevor Lawrence is probably the biggest film room junkie. Well, we're certainly going to have to see it. He needs an amnesty that year. Another guy who's going to need an amnesty that year, probably an amnesty that game. Dylan's sending me this. 43-0 48.5 receiving yards for Travis Hunter week 1 against the Panthers?
Over under, you can bet on it.
Are you taking the over or the under?
I feel like that's an easy over. I mean, he can get that on one play.
Easy.
2 plays.
You serious?
Yeah, that's one of those where it's like what do they know? Because, as much as we want to sit here and say, okay, week 1, how much is he going to play offense or defense and, this and that, the third. I mean, I don't even know if the coaches know yet how much he's going to play in week 1.
Right.
I mean, we're still, almost 2 months out?
Yep.
I mean, a lot can change from now and then. So 43 yards, yeah, if you want to bet on it, or a half interception. So, yeah, that was a little weird. Because, I mean, the season total is about 750, 800 yards, which I feel is fair.
Fair.
But 43 yards first game, that's, geez. That seems a little low for me.
And it's maybe, I don't know. Maybe because you're thinking that, the allotment of the balls are going to go to one Brian Thomas Jr. You're also thinking De'Ami Brown is going to make a few plays on the offensive side of the ball, but I just do not see Travis Hunter only getting 43 yards his first game.
Yeah, week 1, offensive head coach, you would feel like there would be plays specifically made for him.
Yes.
To do something.
Right.
Like, the opportunity is going to be there. It's not like, he's going to be a wide receiver 3. It's like, maybe. No. This is
no.
Yeah, we know the offense is made around BTJ. We know you value the offensive line. And week 1, you gave up all these draft picks to go get him at number 2. You got toys. You better use them.
Better use them. I think with the ball going to be fired around to a lot of different pieces, a lot of guys are going to be able to eat. Travis Hunter is certainly going to be one of those guys. I think he's going to get a lot of targets. I think he'll be showcased a lot, like Dylan is talking about. He'll be showcased a lot in this offense. 43.5 yards. What does Underdog know that we don't? And we don't. Anyone saying that Doug should have stayed around doesn't watch football? Well, what if I were to tell you that comment came from a certain coach that thought that maybe Doug should have had more time? And for me personally, and we've talked about it, there have been many others who have talked about it, a lot of guys probably checked out on Doug and probably checked out on the season early on. Remember that quote from Andre Sisco? I saw a lot of quit out there. Andre Sisco also sometimes looked like the guy who quit out there. Maybe you bring in a couple new guys, but it also seemed to me that Doug Peterson was not going to show Press Taylor the door whatsoever. No, that's my guy. That's who I won a Super Bowl with. He stays with me. He goes, I go. Which is, I appreciate the loyalty. Maybe could have reconsidered. And I don't know. Somebody would have to show me an article. Did Doug ever say he was calling the plays, especially in 2022, which everybody assumes he was calling them?
No, he never said anything.
He never said it.
It was mentioned at the Combine, February 2024. It was brought up, but he never said, I'm taking it over, or he never said Press Taylor's calling the plays.
But in 2022, did he say, yeah, that was me. I was calling him. I was calling the plays.
I think the knowledge is he was calling plays in the first half, and Press Taylor was calling plays in the second half, which I've never heard of.
No.
And at any level of football, you have one play caller. It's one thing to where you're making the game plan together with your side of the ball, but to have two different play callers, I've never heard of that.
No. The issue that I had with one Doug Peterson, if what Hayes Carline said is true, and they asked him the question, is this essentially the same offense that you guys ran when you won the Super Bowl? And he said yes. Then there's probably a problem with evolving. I understand the game is a cyclical one, but you have to evolve. You don't think that guys have sat here and broke down that offense, that scheme, trying to find ways to stop it? Did the game pass him by? Maybe it did. Maybe it did. And I do remember Khan did ask for him to call the plays. He did ask him, you call them. And Doug didn't want to. That's very interesting. Why you would be so bullheaded like that. But I do think whether Doug was here or not, I think you needed a new voice. And I think Liam Cohen is the voice that in which you needed, because I also think Doug Peterson's a guy who thought that these guys were just going to straight up be accountable, and they weren't. And he wasn't going to hold them to that. Liam Cohen, it seems like the first thing he said was, listen, the tape does not lie, guys. And we'll have you watch the tape. We'll have you focus on the tape. And yes, that includes Mr. $275 million. He's going to have to watch tape too. And he's going to have to get better. And he's calling out guys. He's sending shots. It's going to be interesting once we get to training camp to see how many guys got the message. Did Anton get the message? You know what? I hear you. Now, once we get pads on, let's see how much of the message in which he got. Unless he wants a spot taken. Which it seems to me that Liam Cohen has no problem giving that spot to somebody else. That's something we haven't had here in a while. Don't you feel that way? Here in Jacksonville? We haven't had that in a minute. The guy who's saying, if you can't, I'll find someone who will. That's something in which we need. That's something that's been missing here from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Makes me that more excited about this upcoming training camp as well as the season at large. Got to thank you guys. Also, it seems like we created quite the stir with the Kobe Bryant conversation. Also, have to shout out the 469 showing a great picture of Kobe Bryant all the way back from 2001. I wish I could have met the guy. May he rest in peace. One of the greatest basketball players to ever play. Not 11th all time, Bleacher Report. For Dylan Denmark, I am RJ Saunders. We will talk to you tomorrow at 6. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.